Welcome back to Let's Play SimCity 4 Deluxe Edition. I'm Hunter Black Luna, and I'm actually kind of a noob at SimCity. I've played earlier versions, but I was only messing around, and it's a nice, relaxing kind of sandbox game that I figured, hey, why not? I crafted this region with my hands, and it took a while, but it was kind of cool to do it, and I feel happy about it. A supernova or something is coming through our territory. That's interesting. In any case, it's time for the first settlement. We had to, quote-unquote, start a new city to reshape the conditions of all these places, but this is going to be the first actual place with us. This little outcropping. We are going to switch to mayor mode. We are going to name this settlement Gemini. I don't know. San Jacinto works for now. Mayor name is HBL. We're gonna start on easy modo, and we can't use terraforming or change the difficulty level once we've established our city. Duly noted. The city of San Jacinto is founded with precisely 0 people, and the land values are going down. A city can't take its first breath unless you zone for industry and residential development. Gotta give power. Agriculture can give a good boost, but on easy modo you can kind of advance past the agricultural phase without respecting it at all. And this is just a small plot of land. So the very first thing that we should do is roads, not streets. Streets are tiny baby things. They cost half as much, but roads really are the ones that carry capacity. And basically I believe in designing cities around a more or less grid pattern. Just because. And really, in SimCity, it's a little daunting to me because it's such a sandbox game. Let's just start laying out our things here. And you start with a large amount of money to get you started. There we go. Probably just wasted some monies. I'll go feel bad about that later. Say this is good for, so that's probably a little big. That's fine. I want to make the zones kind of tiny just to be on the paranoid side of things, and that'll be good. And by tiny I mean apparently decent sized. I'd like to avoid having any streets in the zones to just make things look a little visually tidier. We'll see how it goes. Like I said, this is a new experience for me. As our advisors tell us, the 3 types of zones are residential, where people live, commercial, where commercial stuff happens, and industry, where stuff is made. Let's go ahead and start zoning medium density, residential. And if you hold shift while zoning, it will automatically not build those roads that you see right there. And that's good. we'll zone 3 squares of medium density residential. Yeah. And I'll zone low density commercial to start. That's your 7-Eleven type developments. Might as well zone 3 of each, because I don't know what I'm doing otherwise. And then further road developments. We've got plenty of money to start out, which is good. I'm personally a fan of money. There we go, let's link them up. And this is such a tiny settlement that it won't take long to fill up. Of that I've no doubt. And I know what we can put near the water. Our industry! Speaking of which, where's my tax rate? There's all sorts of graphs and data views that you can on the monthly budget. We're paying $19 a month to sustain our roads, pretty much. And you can talk to your financial advisors, and if you're a noob like me, that's probably a really good idea. Control your building styles, yada yada yada. My sim mode. You can actually move your sims in, like, to your city, which is just pretty awesome, I gotta admit. There we go, I fiddled with the controls a little bit. Taxes obviously rely on, or determine how much more money you get. I am going to reduce everybody's taxes in general to 7% to encourage a bit more startup development, except for I don't really want agricultural. Dirty industry can say the same. I'm going to encourage manufacturing, and I'm just gonna barely tax high-tech industry at all. This is basically a scale of how much I like each industry. And there's all sorts of budgets that we can mess around with once we actually have people, which we still don't. Sorry if things are going slow to start, I just would like to take it easy. Create a connection to Sim Nation. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna probably build a bigger... In fact, let's do that now, because we're already spending tons of money on infrastructure. I'm gonna build an avenue. Not as expensive as a highway, but it does have more capacity than roads. And we'll create a connection to Sim Nation through there. Oh. Yeah, you're right, it's an unsuitable area to build a network. I'm going to build another avenue heading out of town that way. And this will connect us to our 2 neighbor plots. And that'll be good for, a whole bunch of reasons. Except that I'm having trouble. I think we need to bust out the good old bulldozer. Civic tools are like telling... I'm gonna not attempt to talk too much until I can figure out how to use human speech. That'll be good. Let's try this again. There we go. Now we hook this road up. And we have avenues. And we still have our grid formation. It's probably harder to see stuff at night, That's understandable. And let's zone some industry, just to get things started. Medium density is probably a good idea. There we go. And of course there's more to a city than just these zones. Probably should put the industry back there. That'd be a better idea. You do that in your cities. This is just the little startup on Hiigara, so I'm going to be making awesome. And as I said, I'm a noob, so I'm going to be making all kinds of mistakes. For a really small place like this, I'd probably just go with wind power rather than something like coal. A natural gas power plant. Now let's go with wind power right now. And wind power, unlike the heavily polluting things, is fine to put near residential. Perfectly fine. So let's put those 6 up, and if we need more, and we probably will, then we can put more. It looks like mousing over your own roads will still take the money from you for the segment of road that's already been built, so it's good to keep that in mind. It also probably interferes with things. Okie dokie, we are gonna hit go and watch stuff go. There we go. RCI will tell you what's in demand right now. It's good to have additional residential zones. And we can make those. In fact, let's make them, say, towards the waterfront. I like that idea. There we go, and there's gonna be traffic. It's interesting to me that that doesn't work. Oh no, my grid formation is bad already. I'll try to pick up the pace here by zoning some more medium density residential, holding down shift so that no unsightly roads are built. There we go. We hit go. Yeah, and your advisors will bitch at you for building nothing but roads. Pay no attention to them. On harder difficulties, you'll want to skimp on other civic services. You know, like police and stuff like that, but definitely not water. In fact, let's pause time and get a water pump right here. And while we're at it, we could even start building water pipes, which I just build in a grid pattern. That's how it goes. Luckily, this place is so small that we barely need any pipes, relatively speaking, in order to get the whole place. And yeah, I'm just gonna build all this stuff, because if you build it, they will come. Hopefully. Now we're providing plenty of water to the sea. Good. This is all going according to plan. There we go. And now just this little bit. Connection dissemination. Oh, sure. Well, let's go that way too, because you can buy and sell utilities as well. And I definitely recommend doing that. In fact, that's one of the reasons why this place exists. If we're honest with ourselves. Okay. Everything but the water now has water, which is good. We've got electricity, and we don't need power lines because zones transfer power across. Waste to energy plants. Gets rid of garbage, but it's pretty expensive. And the pollution it produces is horrendous. We're gonna hold off on garbage services for now. We will build a small police station. It's not the smallest thing you can. You know what? I bet you if we build a large one, we can literally cover the entire city with a single police station. And just simply never worry about the police. The same thing goes for fire stations. Two very important buildings, no doubt. Watch, because buildings cover in a circular area, watch the very edges of the circle. Yeah, be careful of those, because that'll bite you when you're least expecting it. I think this'll do it, yeah. Right there. And as for schools, I'd say regular elementary school, and I'll put it this way, that's where most of the residential should develop. Yes. I doubt we'll need much more than that, considering this place really... I want to emphasize to you how tiny this place is. As to a hospital, a medical clinic would almost do it. But I'm going to spring for the large medical center. See our expenses on the budget and how they have just completely exploded like a nuclear bomb? They'll do that. This hospital literally has the range where every single place in the entire city is covered. I think that's nice. Landmarks and stuff increase the gravity of your city, as do educational systems and all sorts of stuff. And you can build parks. I'm probably going to spring for a beach right away. If I can get one right along here... Of course I can't. Sometimes beaches just don't want to be built. One over here. It increases commercial demand. So I'm probably gonna build it here. Just advance the urban grid until I get there. Yeah, this is good. Bet it's hard to see what's going on. Medium density commercial. Nope. Schools increase the residential demand in the area they're in. Beaches increase commercial. All, you know, it's pretty much what you think something does. It probably does. Zone some here. Zone some business there. No. And if you don't want to make a zone, make it too large and it'll cancel. just make sure you've made it too large, because disasters can happen. Mistakes can be made. There's a way to get a use out of almost all this land. There we go. No, I'm not too happy with that. D-zone. Oh, that's good enough. We hit the turbo button. Watch the urban areas spring to life. Even though they're right next to industrial. Hey, they're right next to a hospital too, so what can I say? Money's coming in, but slowly. We can adjust the budget. We're not gonna have to, say, pay for all the capacity of our hospital, considering we have barely any patients that use it. So if we just dash the funding down to even just this, well then there you go. Well, I wouldn't skimp on buses or ambulances. That's just, you're really asking for trouble if you do that. There's only 400 people in our town. So that probably means the school only needs this, but now they'll start yelling at me immediately. And you don't want to get too caught up in your budget sliders. We probably don't need to lower taxes on low wealth residential. Considering people are gonna move here. Yeah, dirty industry are the ones that reared their head, there's no doubt. And the game is still going, it's just going slowly. RCI indicates there's still a big demand for residential, so we're gonna zone more of that. More of the good stuff. All the way up to the coast, all day, every day. Perhaps like a space ghost, if you're inclined that way. And what an ugly city. This is so tiny, we could probably finish it off this video. There we go, just make sure everything builds not stupidly. And there you go. Plop down a bunch of residential over there. Watch it develop. People want to live in San Jacinto. Notice all these buildings are under construction. People going to the beach. Good stuff. Those little icons represent driving missions you can take. You can earn a bunch of money that way. Our budget still looks pretty horrible. Public safety. Wow. Can't really get a lot from slashing the fire department, and I'd rather just not have my city burn. Police department too. But that's where the budget's going. We can't really sustain these things. Ah, power. We don't need this much power generation capacity. Twiddle, twiddle. And like I said, when it becomes a problem, they'll start yelling at me. We can afford to decrease the water department. zone more residential because that's what people want. Oh, by the way, if you hold down control while you're zoning, it appears like it won't make the zone, but it will take your money. So keep that in mind. Alright, City Hall, that's good stuff. Now there's urban development. Not much commercial demand yet, of any kind. Interesting. Let's see. So I believe City Hall is commercial. We can build the Sphinx. If we felt like it. So much money for any of these. Oh, it's the mayor's house. This will increase residential. Might as well plop it down. You know, if people want to talk to the mayor, they can come on by. And that'll be fine. Let's zone to take advantage of this. I mean, to encourage this. There we go. People so don't want commercial. Ooh, a house of worship. Alright, San Jacinto now has 1,000 Sims. We will definitely want to go for the house of worship, actually. I'll just be happy to make it here, right alongside my house. Or you know what? I'll make it on top of the hill. And there you go. And yeah, it's not a church, it's a house of worship. It's a church. Have some more residential. There's demand, but these slots aren't being filled up. And since I'm a noob, I don't really know why. Oh, there we go. It is happening a little bit. There we go. Tax revenue's going up. We're still losing a buttload of money, and I say buttload advisedly. There's some industrial. See if that develops too. It's gonna be dirty industry. In a town this size, you don't really have much room for development. The new house of worship's a big hit. Medium density residential can be individual houses, or it can be apartment complexes, which is why I like medium density. Oh, no road access. What clown zoned this? Oh. Let's D-zone that. There's no point in having that there. There we go. See, that's the only thing the advisors are really yelling at me about, is the roads. Power funding scarcity. Okay. Since they took the time out of their day to yell at me, I'm gonna go look at Utilities. Power department.